God eftermiddag. Det her det er Christiania TV. Jeg hedder Line, og med os i dag har vi en ganske særlig gæst. Han hedder Rick Dewars. Han har været investment banker i Canada, og han fortæller sin historie om, at efter at have set, hvordan pengesystemet det var sat sammen, så han et behov for at bryde ud og grundlage et nyt. Og det er jo også spændende sådan fra et fristedsperspektiv, for hele filosofien med at være et fristed og løsrive sig fra verden udenom, den handler jo også lidt om at løsrive sig fra den økonomiske struktur. Så ham har vi fået med i Christiania TV i dag, så han kan fortælle lidt om, hvordan han ser på det nuværende økonomiske system, og hvordan han ser muligheden for, at vi kan bygge et nyt sammen som mennesker. Jeg skal lige sige, at det kommer til at foregå på engelsk, og ellers så er der bare at sige velkommen, Rick Dewars. Welcome, Rick.
Thank you so much, Alina.
Rick, I will tell a bit about Christiania, because you know Christiania is a free town, and as a free town which is independent of the system surrounding it, it also at some point looked into making its own economic system. And you are a former investor from Canada, and you have founded a new economic system called Global People's Monetary System, because as an investor, I understand you saw how things were put together and discovered that something was not right. And can you inform us, how is it you see the problems within the normal money system, which is founded on private banks?
Well, you know, essentially money is, let's say, created out of thin air. And in reality, it is. But, you know, money is a good thing. It's just the way that it is used now to control. And we are in the times of also the Great Awakening, where it's not acceptable to see anyone upon the planet deprived of money, and to see poverty exist in this time, and approximately 15,000 children daily dying of starvation. You know, really, that is savage. So money can be put to use for a good tool for all of humanity. It's just the way it was used that is not, it's not serving humanity to the fullest.
So you mean that when we have children dying from starvation in our world right now, it actually has something to do with the current money system that we have, which is fraudulent in some way?
Well, totally. It's the whole structure of it. And again, you know, I looked at Christiana, I believe is the pronunciation. And, you know, you are just one example of what's been occurring around the world in preparation for this time. And yes, you know, it's very easy to see that something is wrong, you know, in such what could be called a civilized world. There should not be anyone deprived of anything, and it is the control of the money. And so what we are doing now, though, as a result, we have many things happening simultaneously with what we could call the chaos, with people standing up, you know, against governments to try to maintain their rights, what was supposedly guaranteed in each country's constitution. And, you know, having said that, these things are wrong, and everyone should be free and also should not be deprived of money. If you look at the current, what has been happening in the last year or so, due to the worldwide circumstance, many, for example, in the UK, small business owners pretty much losing everything and being deprived of their livelihood. And this is where it's not acceptable. And it's happening worldwide. And again, with this, you know, if I have to say, if the banks and governments had good intent, because they were the ones that control the printing of money and the disbursement, they could have give everyone enough to live off and distribute funding worldwide uh, to compensate each and to assure they were not put into deeper areas of misery and stress and deprivation.
So as I hear you, as I understand you, you are telling that the money system, which is currently the dominant one, creates suppression and starvation. But can you explain to me, just really simple, how is it happening as a result of how the banking industry works?
Well, if you wish, could you just clarify a little bit more precise on what your question actually is, please?
It is because I understood that
Thank you.
you have been an investor or an investment banker in Canada, and there you from seeing how the things were put together, you also realized that with this money system, we can never ever get a world without suppression or without children starving. And because I have not been a investor, I am really curious about how is that, if you should explain it for dummies.
Well, exactly. The entire financial system worldwide, as it is, it's not designed for the people. Again, it's designed for, we have to say, the select few. And, you know, there's been so many examples of this. Let's look at the US with what they call the quantitative easing over the years, where trillions of dollars are created instantly. And, you know, it was interjected into the economy, but when you follow the money, it ends up into the oligarchs, the billionaires, the governments. It doesn't go to the people, and the people are constantly kept working and so on. So when you look into the investment area, but the entire financial structure, when you dig deep and you just keep connecting the dots, what you come to find out is that there's a very select few that are always controlling everything with it. And most of even the markets, if you look at the financial markets, it's really all an illusion. And one of the ways that it is an illusion is in all of the financial markets worldwide, it's the ones with the most money that control the markets. Now, I was in Canada, and what they preach or what they put out for the markets with the securities regulators, they say it's a fair market, but it never can be a fair market. And very simply, you may have a stock that is $1,000, and in an instant, because of the banks and their market making abilities that the governments are well aware of, they can take that stock to zero in the blink of an eye, or they can take it to $5,000 in the blink of an eye. So I need to say it this way because nothing is fair in the markets. It's all manipulated. But that is a big can of worms in itself. But it's where I had to go to learn how the system worked and how it is manipulated and controlled by a certain few.
So it's manipulated and controlled, and you can see that by that the money always end up with the people who have the most money, with the oligarchs, so to say.
More or less, yes. Yeah, there's very few that are successful, let's say, in the financial markets. And the only reason they are successful is for some reason they play along with the game. But what it actually is, it's a fraudulent game. It is, and it's taking from others, and it is creating lack. So, you know, with the old system, you can dissect it, the old financial system, And what you will find if you go right down to its base, there is no integrity at its base. The foundation of the of the financial system contains no integrity. However, in this time, this is the reason why the people worldwide must join together and just create an entirely new, simple system that works for all, that deprives no one of anything. And with this, it's the full comfort for humanity. As I mentioned earlier, it's not acceptable and it's totally nonsensical that any living human being upon the planet must suffer in this time. We are actually on a planet of abundance. There's more than enough food to go around, and it's not acceptable what's occurring. But it becomes further clear that the banks and the governments and even some huge financial institutions, that their interest is not in the public. It's to fill their pockets, live their luxurious life, if you will, while many suffer. And there is no compassion within that. There is no love. There is no public caring and public interest.
Actually, in Denmark alone, it's 750,000 tons of food every year that we throw out.
Wow, that's
yes,
amazing.
It's a lot. And worldwide, it's a third part of all the food that is produced worldwide, which is thrown out again. And that could feed the people who are starving twice over, actually. So clearly, clearly there is a problem here. But you are telling me that this old system of money is creating the problem of starvation and war.
Yes.
And you are telling also that we could come together in a new solution or a new monetary system that doesn't have these sad effects. Is that what you have been looking into with your group, which is called Global People's Monetary System, and how does it work?
Absolutely, and thank you. Yeah, so with the Global People's Monetary System, it is a vehicle to begin to unite all of the humanitarian groups, all of the people worldwide as one voice. So we're not looking at the individual countries. What we're looking at is all people worldwide to come together, create a voice, and tally up the numbers. And once we have the unity of all of the good people on board, this voice becomes the most powerful voice upon the planet. And with this voice, it's all comprised of the good-hearted people to know that no one should be starving and no one should be in misery. No one should be in lack. So we got a lot of light coming in here now. I love that.
Yeah.
But, the GPMS is the vehicle to unite all of these humanitarian groups, all of these goodwill groups around the world that have been prepared for this time. So we instantly create a new reality and instantly create a comfortable money for all. Within just because we exist, we have what you can call an intrinsic monetary value. And we have a choice to say it's limited by being part of the government's monetary system, or we have the choice to say it's unlimited. And this is what the GPMS is doing, is spreading the awareness as well as creating the unity of all that know this. So with the GPMS, very quickly, once you have this unified voice that everyone just wants to create a comfortable income, use money as a tool for everything absolutely good, And when you have the majority of the planet, or even a voice that is about 2 billion doing it, it becomes very easy for every man, woman, and child to see that it's what they want to be a part of and create together. Because of the many attributes with the GPMS, with the new monetary system. And with the new monetary system, it's one money, but we're using money as a good tool to provide comfort, which is the opposite of the current systems, which creates lack, misery, death, sickness. So when you alleviate the stress from every human being, that they no longer need to look into their future if they're going to have enough money or save. When you eliminate that, you also at the same time eliminate sickness to the utmost degree, because again, all sickness more or less is caused by stress. So when you do that one thing, many people become very good, very healthy, very quickly. So the attributes of the GPMS extend into all good things for humanity, but it takes the unity of all of us to do it. So we're presently putting it out, saying, hey, everyone, we can leave the governments and the banks with their old financial system, where perhaps it's less than 1 million that was controlling that system. We got 7 billion people, good-hearted people here, that all want to live lives of comfort, no misery. So again, I like to say it's a no-brainer choice for anyone. So we're in the process of spreading that awareness and saying to everyone, you have a choice. Support the old, or we just all unite and we have everything we need, full abundance, happiness, but we can do it because everything upon the planet works with majority. So the majority of the people is going to want this, and very quickly we create it. But part of it also is the infrastructure, the logistics to make just a monetary system work. It's already here. It's already in place with all of your financial system, the way the banks do things. But what occurs is the ownership of that system. And in reality, all of the financial structure that is upon the planet, every human being contributed to that some way. And where they contributed to that, they are actual shareholders of it. So they do have an ownership title to all of the infrastructure built upon the planet. So everyone alive participated. If no one was upon the planet, the infrastructure wouldn't have been here. So as a result of all of the people, it was built by them. So we merely just take ownership of all of the system. And with any banks, what the GPM actually is the ultimate rapid instant solution for all of humanity to live in harmony and comfort and abundance. So, once the voice is created, which we're creating now, this goes it's worldwide. Everyone knows about it. And any bank or government per se that would go against this or oppose it, very quickly they become much smaller because they're not in alignment with what is good for humanity and what is actually in the public's best interest.
So what I hear you say is that with this voice of many people who can then take the power back by standing together, just with collecting the voice, the people who unite clearly shows that they are bigger and stronger than these institutions like NATO creating war and WHO, which some people are suspecting creating disease, and World Economic Forum, which clearly have public interests in transferring the power from the governments to the industry. And just by uniting the people, we can show we are stronger. That is a beautiful, idealistic viewpoint. But how will it work in details? I have to ask you, because, for example, in Christiania, we have seen that for many years, this Freetown has been working by only using cash and has been denying the digital money payment solutions. But now digital money payment solutions are pulled onto people, even though they don't want it, especially in the broad society, but also in Christiania. And that's, that's something that typical Christiania people thinks is worth fighting against, because you can be traced, and because as people we are more vulnerable to private bankers' interest with the digital money. How will it work in your ideal solution?
Well, thank you again. Again, the key word here is the ownership of the system. So, where some has reserves on using the digital monetary system and being tracked, well, there is no one left to track it when the people owns the system. It's all of us. So it becomes a moot point for that. So with the GPMS, the most easiest way to do it is a digital system with a card, but also with, all of the existing money will be honored and has to be honored into the system. So part of the GPMS is the people creating the dominant money. So when we all come together, we create just instantly. It's unlimited what we create. But to do this, it's the ownership of the entire system. So there is actually no opposition to it. We all create it together in a worldwide community. So you could take Christiania as just an example of what we are doing worldwide, but the time is now to do it worldwide. The way I look at the whole Corona situation, it is actually a divine gift to wake everyone up to activate their power. They don't need to take it back, because the governments are actually not an authority when the people don't recognize them as an authority. So all that are on the streets here protesting now, their focus just needs to be shifted enough that we don't need to fight. We need to unite, and then it's done quicker. We don't need to prove to the government our intrinsic rights or values at all. They are the opposition. They don't want that. And it's futile to waste time at fighting such a small system. As I said, perhaps, maybe there's a couple thousand or less in France, and at this time you have 2 million in the street. It's no contest once these couple million just unite worldwide with the rest of us, and we just create this right out of existence. See, the only way that governments exist is if they have the support from the people. Now, very quickly, if we look worldwide with the vaccination process, there's less, I would say, than a quarter of the worldwide population that has been vaccinated. But there is a very important reason for that. And the reason for that is most also do not agree. They do not condone with the vaccination, the restriction of the rights, everything involved with it, the imposition of a mandatory vaccination. When you look worldwide, it's actually the majority that do not agree with everything that's going on. So even though the governments have coerced, let's say, a quarter of the population, this quarter has hit a threshold. Up here is 70% that are saying no. This is the real power. And this is why down here, everything right now is getting chaotic, because the governments has reached the point of resistance, of the huge resistance. And this is what's causing all the chaos. So it shows you that the people do have the power. And right now, again, while all of that is playing out, what we actually need is the people to unite and create this new heaven on earth. We have everything here to do it. It only takes the unity. And within all of the humanitarian groups that have worked so hard, the sovereign movements, all the freedom movements, everything, all of the solutions are there to create this. Within all of these groups I just mentioned is the entire skill set to very simply have all of the solutions with the GPMS for the new society. Everything is there. We've had enough to know what we don't want, so we have the choice to unite together and create what we all want, what is good for everyone. And that's what's occurring. There is a divine element with this. There is the divine guarantee and the assurance. And one indicator that that is true, ones would not have been awakened to the degree they are if the darkness upon the planet and the ones with ill intent, if they actually had any control, all of the awareness would not be out there today. People would not know all of the agendas, all of the hidden truths that have surfaced. So this also shows people, no, they do not have power, even though they fight and try to suppress the people. It's not working, and it cannot work.
So when you are saying that people are awakening, it's not only to the fact that the money system we are in currently, it creates suppression and division between people. They are also awakening to something more.
Indeed, as well. You know, the beautiful side of it is more so what I teach, what we call, I can put a label on myself as an ascension teacher, because at the same time, if you're to look at humanity, they are evolving within very rapidly also. And higher levels of consciousness upon the planet is being, it's happening. And with this, many are discovering, many of the empaths are the ones that are discovering, whoa, there's energies at play. And part of what I do is teach them and give them the information how to strengthen their amazing divine gifts. But again, none of this, what's occurring upon the planet, is by chance. It is, let's say, it is happening because of divine, because of creator. There is an actual creator. And
Okay.
One of the beauties is, I love, many are seeing the signs in the sky. I mean, what I'm speaking about has been prevalent throughout prophecies and all of the beliefs worldwide. Hey, and guess what? It's true. It's happening. And you can see so many miraculous and beautiful things. It's go time for humanity, enough of the old and create the new. It's right here on the doorstep. And you know what? All of the full benefits and comfort for humanity, what GPMS brings, it can be done in like 2 months, right? And what we're doing, if the governments and banks, and leaders worldwide, if they actually had the people's interest in mind, what we're doing with the GPMS and just creating that instant comfort, they have everything right at their fingertips to do it in about 2 days. They actually do. If I was, let's just say, if I was the king of the entire world right now, it'd be done in about 2 days.
Yeah, if you look, then a person like, for example, Bill Gates, who has enough money to provide clean water to the entire globe with like this, if he wants. he doesn't do it. And
exactly.
that is actually a proof that maybe there is not always good interests in the people's well-being with the oligarchs. Rick, I have one last question for you. It's again the Christiania coin, which is the Christiania money system they tried out some years ago. They had the idea that it should be only a very local based economy, because locally based economies, they don't export the problems, and also when it's going well for the economy, the surplus amount of money can be invested in the local society, and that is the very principle that makes it secure, that it works well, because it's restricted into a small area. But I understand your global people monetary system idea as something being globally spread. And how do you make sure that it will make a sustainable development for the planet and for the people when it's this big?
Oh, okay. Very quickly, as I said, among the awakened ones, like you have bankers awakening, they're stepping away, quitting their jobs from the old banking industry. You have lawyers that are knowing about the absolute intrinsic rights. So it's all being prepared. What I'm saying is the skill sets to take everything forward is contained within the individuals that's awakening. So there's all of these solutions, but it needs to be done worldwide at this time. For example, my partner, my divine feminine partner, Femke, and I, we could manifest everything for ourselves, and we could even be a part of Christiania and live comfortably with it. But again, it's not about us. I cannot sit back in a community having a most loving, harmonious existence on the planet while children are dying everywhere and all of this ridiculous lack that is created. No, for what I am, we're taking this forward for all the people, and Christiania is a great example where that is done. If you look on the micro scale, like so many other communities, now we're going to connect it all and do it on the macro scale for everyone and change everything.
Yeah. So there is no reason to stick to small communities when we can create a larger global community where everybody are a part of it. Rick, thank you so much for sharing your ideas and your knowledge with the viewers of Christiania TV. Do you have one last thing you want to tell them? Now you have the chance.
Okay, what I will say is what we're doing with the unity, it is imminent and inevitable. It does occur. It's only how long it takes to gather this voice. So I am so grateful that I had this opportunity to speak with new ones, but also what we have is a growing team that on social platforms and what have you is getting the word out. So we just need to collect the consent through signatures on the website, but it's not really a signature. You can just put a tick in a box or just to show you're there, because this creates the voice. So what I suggest for everyone to look at your choice you have, this is a worldwide vote or even a referendum, and that's how it will be in the future. So you can choose now to be part of the old system, which is rapidly imploding, or hey, come on, let's all get together and just create this beautiful world instantly within months.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Rick. A quick overview of what we talked about. We have been talking today to Rick Dewars, who has been an investor in Canada and has been explaining about the current money system and how it's fraudulent and how it doesn't have the well-being of humanity as its main interest, because you can look to history of warfare, or you can look at how starvation, which is not necessary, does happen in the world. And he suggests a new money system, which is actually globally activated so that we can create a new world without debts and without starvation and without war. And it's a very interesting project, which in many ways seems like it has parallels to the projects that Christiania has been trying to activate when they tried to make themselves independent of the current banking system. It has been very interesting and enlightening to talk to Rick. And if you want to know more about the project, where can you look up?
GPMS.world. That is our website.
Amazing. So if you wake up tomorrow and you think, I want a new world, then there's one option here. There are also smaller movements within Denmark and in UK called Good Money, which is enlightening people about what is wrong with the current money system. So with that said, thank you for looking at Christiania TV and have a really nice afternoon. My name is Line, and with us today we had Rick Dewars. Ciao.
Thank you. Love and light and much gratitude.